Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and I work with a lot of individuals with attachment wounds. I work predominantly with avoidant individuals, and today I wanted to go over a topic that has been asked quite a bit on numerous occasions regarding avoidance texting habits. And I know some of y'all don't like when I talk specifically about social media because you guys don't all use social media, and this is not necessarily social media, but I guess connection from a technology standpoint. However, this has been commonly requested, and it is how avoidants text you when they care about you. Because avoidant individuals, they do have a little bit of unique texting habits, and so I felt like this video was necessary, and of course, I try not to ignore anybody's requests. So if you guys have requests and I haven't seen them, just post them again. I'll get to it eventually. I try my best. I want to answer as many requests as possible. I make these videos to help people, and so that's requests. I enjoy them, okay? And so avoidant individuals, I'm going to break it up into two different ways that avoidant individuals text commonly. This is not always the case, but one type of avoidant individual that I notice, and this is more strictly with dismissive avoidant individuals, however, it's not always, okay? But usually it's if they're leaning that way. They tend to answer quite promptly and quickly. However, they're very businesslike and they tend to not be very emotional, not very animated, not very romantic, not very loving, but they tend to answer very almost productively, very on time, daily, usually right around the same time. If you ask them, can you text me every morning, right when they wake up, maybe they wake up at 7 a.m., texting you, right? So you're seeing that these habits are built in to the way they text, and usually it's because they're very timely and prompt in general, and they manage their time. And so you can see that that's one version of a texting habit. Now, the other one that I see is also common, and I think a lot of people don't like this one as much. It seems like this one is more common. I don't know if it is, but I think it's just people don't like this one as much, so they talk about it more. And I can understand that. Is that avoidant individual, they have gaps in between when they're messaging. So it might be like they'll text you pretty frequently one day, and then for like 2 or 3 days, they like just completely disappear. And what I notice about these individuals who do this, they tend to be able to be more romantic and more emotional when they are texting you. These are the avoidant individuals who are a little bit more open to admitting they may have feelings for somebody. They may be a little bit more open to being more romantic. However, they tend to also be more triggered when fighting. They're a lot more like hot and cold. And I'm not just saying fearful avoidance. Dismissive avoidance do this too, where they can open up, but then they pull away completely, right? And this is what a lot of people characterize as avoidant individuals, but I personally actually see this less common in my practice. However, it could be my caseload, it could be my personality. I'm a very, rigid and timely person, and so more likely I attract the timely ones more often. But it is more important to recognize that regardless of these texting habits, it's not about you and who you are as a person. The way they text has been there before you. However, avoidants do tend to modify the way they text when they start caring more, which is why I'm making this video, okay? So the first one is they initiate. Now, it doesn't mean they initiate all the time. If anything, they initiate more from time to time. However, they do initiate. They may open up and send a text message, hey, work was busy. How was your day? Whatever it may be. They may text you and say, I hope you have a good day. Just seeing that they initiate, a lot of avoidants don't initiate, truly. And this is even more so showing that they care when they are female avoidant, because female avoidants, among all avoidants, initiate the least. And so this is imperative to knowing that your avoidant individual is opening up when it comes to texting, okay? The next one, I put this one in for texting because a lot of individuals communicate their plans through texting, and this one is they follow through their plans. If they say they are going to, take you to a Thai food restaurant on Wednesday, and you really haven't heard from them that much since, but they pick you up at the time they said they would, and you guys go to a restaurant, they follow through, obviously they care. Regardless of their texting habit, the fact that they added clarity and they are going to continuously follow what they told you by text is a sign that they care, okay? That's a very important one. The next one, and I want to emphasize this one because this is not specifically about texting, but in general, this is something that shows up while texting, and the reason why is because a lot of miscommunication can happen by text. And this is they correct you when you make an assumption about them or when there's some sort of miscommunication, okay? And so I'm going to give an example because I feel like it may help paint the picture I am at least trying to paint. And that is, let's say an individual who is not the avoidant. And maybe you say, I have a doctor's appointment and I'm going to be a little bit, dizzy or under anesthesia or whatever after the appointment. Maybe it's like a minor surgery, whatever it may be. Are you okay with picking me up? Because I don't want to have to call my mom. Let's say that's the conversation, okay? The avoidant individual, maybe they say, all right. And that's all they said. And the partner thinks all right means that their partner is like, they're okay with it, but maybe they're not. They're upset about it or they're annoyed because all right seems, I don't know, maybe there's some indirect negativity. I see this a lot, okay? Or maybe the avoidant says okay, and the partner, for whatever reason, took that as their partner was not okay with it. And so maybe your partner knows that, and so they maybe send a second text, and they say, when I say all right, it means I'm okay with it. If I wasn't, I would tell you. Or you confront them and say, okay, are you sure? Because it seems like you don't want to. I see that a lot, right? For some reason, a lot of individuals who are not avoidant, they read text messages where the avoidant is mad at them. That's so common. Are you mad at me? I see that a lot. And it's not a bad thing, but the partner is thinking the avoidant is mad or like not wanting to. And so they may ask for reassurance or clarity. And then the avoidant individual, instead of crashing out or getting mad or annoyed, even though maybe they are, but they add clarity and reassurance, right? They correct the assumption. When I said all right, it means I'm okay with it. If I wasn't, I would tell you. So yes, I'm going to pick you up. Right? And so that shows that they don't want you to have a negative assumption about them because they care about you. Okay? The next one is they answer in a more timely manner, regardless of what type of texting habit the avoidant individual is, even if they are the timely one. As they get more closer to you, they are just still going to be as timely as they can. Like they are going to be more timely. And part of the reason is because they're excited to see your message. They care about you. There's not much negativity and they just feel safer with you. And so they're fine answering more. Unless they're busy, they typically are going to answer as quick as they can, right? Avoidant individuals, actually, especially if they care about you, they want to make you feel secure. They know they're not always the best partner. They know that. Ask them. I'm going to tell you, a lot of them know, but they want to be as best as they can. And being more timely is definitely a way that they try to show that they care, okay? The next one is, when you don't answer or you answer short on messages and maybe it's after they said something that they probably are working on, right? A lot of individuals who are avoidantly attached, they know that they can be harsh, blunt, cold. They don't mean to, but it's just the way they communicate. And maybe they said something and then you said okay or you left them on red or whatever and you don't normally do that. They probably notice, okay, you're probably a little bit upset. And right, indirect communication is not the avoidant's best friend. They don't understand it as easily, but they're learning because they're close to you. And so what ends up happening is they may follow up and say, I didn't mean it like that. Or, but I understand where you're coming from. They try and soften the blow. And so oftentimes they're doing that because it's not that they're afraid that you're going to get mad at them, even though it's part of it. It's also that they just don't want you hurt. They want to reassure you, okay? The next one is, I like this one. And this is more common if you have been together for a long time. But often avoidant individuals, they don't use a lot of emojis or like animated expressions, whatever, especially in like long-term situations. But when they're happy and they're sharing something they like, maybe they did really good on their meeting or their presentation, or they're up for a promotion and they send like a little smiley face, this is a sign that they care about you. I know it sounds very silly, but a lot of avoidant individuals they're just not that type of person. They don't use a lot of emojis, especially male avoidants, they don't. And so if they're doing that a little bit more frequently, it shows that they care. And the last one, which so many avoidants do this when they care, and a lot of you guys in the comments know this one, like you guys have brought this up, and I see this all the time in my practice. They send you pictures of things that they're doing. Maybe they're planting, bell peppers, and they're showing you pictures, right? Maybe a game they're playing. Maybe they're playing cards with their friends. They're showing that. Maybe they're playing with their dog and they just show a picture of, them and their dog, whatever it is. Or maybe they're showing a video of something they're doing, or they're on a flight and they took a picture of that and they send it to you when they land. Whatever the case may be, they are showing you what they're doing in their life because they're happy and they want to connect with you. And so those are 7 ways that avoidants kind of connect with you and show that they care with you by the medium of text, okay? I hope this video was helpful. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.